Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I'm super excited to be sitting down to film today because I just recently got these brushes from Amazon and I really wanted to film my first impressions on them because they almost kind of seem too good to be true. As you can see from the handles of these are pretty much really cute mermaid brushes. They do kind of seem high quality so far. They are kind of a heavier base to them. But the weird interesting thing to me is that if you look on the Amazon website where you buy them, it tells you that they're usually for sale for $30, but I don't know why it says they're on sale for $12. I don't know if they're always on sale like this or if it's just a limited sale that they're having for this week or whatever. Looking on the website, it says they are made out of nylon, so I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't think I've ever used any brushes made with nylon hair. So today I'm going to be using these brushes on my face for the first time. I'm not going to do that much of a dramatic look because I'm going to work right now, so I'm going to do a little bit more of a soft glam look. But I really wanted to use these brushes on camera for the first time so I can give you guys my first impressions review to see if these are good or if they are bad. Now just know that I'm going to be 100% blatantly honest about these brushes, so if they are good I will make sure to let you know, and if they are awful I will be honest about it because I do not want you guys to buy these if they are cheap and not worth it. Because I mean, $12 for 6 brushes, it kind of seems like it's too good to be true, so I'm kind of going into this with an open mind, expecting them to be kind of good or bad. I honestly don't know what to expect right now. It makes me a little bit nervous trying brushes for the first time that I don't know because I just don't know if my makeup is going to turn out awful and look all streaky and whatnot, so today I'm taking a risk since I am on my way to work right now, but I figured if it is awful I can just grab a different brush and kind of fix it if it's not buffing out correctly. So enough rambling about these brushes. I'm going to start applying my foundation with the flat top Kabuki one. This one right here kind of reminds me of the Sigma F80, which is one of my favorite foundation brushes. So before I put any foundation on, I just want to let you guys know I already went ahead and did all my skincare routine. I used my Smashbox primer oil for my moisturizer and primer, and of course I went ahead and washed my face before that. So we are starting with a fresh, clean canvas. Trying to think if I want to squirt the foundation onto the brush or if I want to put it on my face first. I think I might do a little bit on my face just because I don't want to ruin the brush right away and kind of hate it. So I'm just going to do a little pump of the It Cosmetics CC cream right here. And then I'm just going to start buffing it in a stippling motion and see what happens. I mean, so far so good. I mean, I don't have any initial complaints. I'm gonna add some more on the actual brush this time to see if there's a difference. I might go in with something a little bit fuller coverage in a hot second so I can really see how it's blending out, but it's 90 degrees here in Portland, Oregon today, so I really don't want to have too much cake on because I want to have my makeup last all day and not look like an oily, sweaty mess. I mean, so far so good with these brushes. I don't have anything bad to say about them. They don't seem streaky on me, and I'm not seeing any brush hair fall out or anything. I'm kind of impressed that I'm liking the quality of these because I was really expecting these to be awful on my face. I really didn't know what to expect considering these are probably really cheaply made in China. But so far it does kind of seem like it's performing kind of like an average brush. I just don't really have anything super positive to say about it or super negative. I feel like it's just kind of getting the job done. So I do want to add a little bit more coverage to my face, so I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is almost empty, so I have to take the cap off and dump it out from the actual bottle because it's so empty that the pump doesn't pump anymore. Nothing will come out at all, so just trying to get this baby all the way through because I've had this for so long now that it's probably close to getting expired. Now this is honestly one of my favorite really lightweight foundations. It's really good for getting a full coverage if you build it with concealer or a different foundation. But by itself I don't necessarily love it because I feel like it's almost too sheer, but kind of considering if I want to buy it. I don't know if I want to get another one or if I should just move on and use all my other foundation that I have because you guys already know that I have enough foundation for about 2 to 3 years, so it's kind of ridiculous at this point for me to go out of my way and spend money on foundation when I don't need to. So I was thinking about using one of these brushes for my concealer, but I just kind of thought about it. If I use one of these for concealer, then I can't use it for my powder products later. So I'm going to save these for actual powder. I'm going to use this for foundation, this for bronzer and this for blush. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use the exact same flat top brush for my concealer and kind of to see how it goes. And then if I feel like I can't get all the way in there to blend it out, I might grab a different baby size brush that I already use. But I just honestly don't have anything bad to say about these brushes at all. I feel like they're just, well, I mean this one because I've only used one so far, but I feel like it's performing just as normal as all my other brushes. I don't notice anything like better or anything worse. I feel like it's just kind of like a normal brush. So I do kind of feel like these brushes would be good so far for like a gift for somebody, or if you just want to like collect them for the cuteness aspect of it. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer first, and then I'm going to add a little bit of my MAC Pro Longwear on top of that because this color is just a little bit too pale for me, so I cannot wear it all by itself or I look crazy. What do you guys think about this MAC Pro Longwear? Like, I recently got it thinking I was going to be obsessed with it because I used a sample of it a couple of years ago, but I don't know why, I just don't honestly like this concealer as much as I was expecting to. I feel like it's almost like too jelly that I feel like I honestly have a hard time getting really good full coverage with it. But I know that some people do love this concealer so much, so I want to know what you guys think about this one down below, the MAC Pro Longwear. What do you guys think? Do you like it, or is it just me? Is it kind of weird? I can't tell. So this is what I do when my concealer is way too pale. I'll put it on first, then I'll put like a normal color one on top of it and just kind of like blend them together to kind of like adjust the shade. So I'm just going to do the exact same stippling motion to blend this concealer out, just because stippling is my favorite blending method to keep the coverage there. So far so good though with the concealer. It doesn't look like it's dry or chalky with the brush. Girl, I put way too much on. Okay, so I feel like I have enough foundation and concealer on now, so I'm going to set my face. I just, honestly, you guys still cannot believe these brushes. I feel like the more that I'm using them, the more I'm kind of like loving them, because I don't understand how these brushes can be $12. Like, I know they're usually for sale for $30 for 6 of them, but the fact that Amazon has them on sale for $12, I just don't understand. Like, did they just not sell well? Were they always that $12 price and they just kind of like marketed it for $30 to kind of make you think you're getting a good deal? Like, what is the tea behind these brushes? I need to know. They just honestly seem like they're the exact same quality as all my other ones. Well, don't get me wrong, like these aren't as good as the Sephora collection brushes, but I feel like these honestly seem like Morphe brushes. Okay, so now I'm going to be using this bigger size fluffy powder brush for my setting powder. I'm going to be using my Holy Grail, which you guys already know I use every single day religiously. It is my Coty Airspun. I'm just going to stipple this powder all over my face like I do on the daily and see if anything different happens. And people always try to come for me because I use so much of this powder, but I have to use a lot because my skin is so oily and I use so many liquids as a base, so the more of this powder that I use, honestly, the better. Because it really helps me stay matte all day and it really helps to blur my skin out and look all mannequin poreless. And I'm liking the size of this brush so far. It feels like it's a good brush for my face shape for applying powder. It's not too big or too small. I feel like it fits like right under the eye so far. Seriously though, this review is going a lot better than I was expecting. These brushes are actually pretty bomb. Okay, so I'm still obsessed with these two brushes so far. I feel like they did such a good job at giving me a really good full coverage. I mean, considering the fact that I added the Born This Way foundation, IT Cosmetics, and then the concealer, I feel like I look full coverage everywhere. I mean, I don't notice any like splotchiness. I didn't experience any like brush like hair shedding or anything. Now, I really did not know what to expect considering these are nylon. I thought they were going to be very cheap and like really crappy quality, but I honestly just feel like these perform almost the exact same as the Morphe brushes. I mean, I don't want to say they're as good as the Sephora collection brushes because those ones are like legit next level, but these are definitely like right below Sephora collection. So next I'm going to go ahead and use this angled brush. I'm going to assume that this is for like bronzer or whatever you want to use it for, but I'm going to use it for like a slight contour slash bronze. And for my bronzer and contour, I'm going to be going into kind of like my recent obsession. I recently got this big size Smashbox Shapematters palette. It's pretty sick though because you get your brow colors in here, you get your cheek contour bronzers, a matte highlighter, and a illuminated like glittery highlighter. and then you get all of these 9 shadows for like $50. So I'm like, why wouldn't you want this set? It's pretty sick if you ask me. So typically what I'll do, I'll go into a little bit of the contour color first and kind of apply that a little bit lower onto my cheekbones, and then I'll add a little bit of the bronzer on top of it just to kind of help it soften out. And add a little bit more. Okay, it looks pretty flawless to me. Do you guys think it looks pretty good? Because it looks pretty seamless to me so far. I feel like this brush does blend pretty well. I mean, I don't honestly feel like I have to do any extra blending with these brushes. I feel like I'm doing the same amount of like blending with my normal brushes, and I feel like they are kind of like blending very like normally. They don't seem like they're worse at blending or better. I feel like these honestly are just performing the exact same way as all my other brushes. I feel like you just don't really have to like work extra hard with these. These just seem very high quality, which I am very like shocked still how good these are. Okay, so I'm almost done with my complexion. I'm just going to add a little bit of blush and highlighter, then we're going to move on to the rest of my face. So for blush, I'm going to be going into the Wet n Wild and Fergie collaboration blush. I can't really read the back of it because the sticker is ripped off, but I want to say it's called like Center Stage or something like that. But as you see, it's a very like bold hot pink blush. I have been dying for blushes like this lately. I know it seems very dramatic, but if you just apply like a very subtle amount, it is beautiful on the skin. So for the blush, I'm going to be using this flat kind of like weird brush. I don't know how to describe this. It's almost like a just very thin, flat, tapered blush brush. I'm going to apply a very subtle amount because I don't want to get crazy with it. So I'm just going to apply that right here on the apple and then get it all the way blended up and back to my hairline. See how pretty this color is on me so far? I always apply it a lot more in the morning, like a lot right now. Because I don't know why, just regardless of what blush I use, blush just naturally kind of like fades on me throughout the day. So I always like to apply a little bit more of a heavier amount just to make sure that after about like 8 hours or whatever, if I'm wearing my makeup for that long, it still looks very fresh. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit to the other side of my face now and hope for the best. Okay, so I've used 4 out of the 6 brushes now and still honestly obsessed. I have nothing bad to say about these brushes so far. I don't know what it is, but these brushes are freaking amazing. So the only other 2 I have left are kind of like weird to me. I don't know if I'm going to be using these like on the daily, but I feel like I do honestly see myself using these in the future. I think what I'm going to do is after I fill in my eyebrows with my pencil, I'm going to use this small little angled one for my brow powder. And then I don't know if I'm going to even do any eye makeup today, but I might use this if I decide to. Maybe I'll just do a very like simple look for my eyes. Usually if I'm lazy or if I just don't have time, I'll just add my bronzer and blush in my crease and just call it good. So I might kind of do that today because I don't know, I don't feel like I have the energy or like time right now to put a full like eye look on right now. I feel like if I do that, I will be late for work. So let's just do a very soft, like simple eye. Actually, before I do my eyes, I'm gonna start my eyebrows off camera. I will be right back. I'm gonna do most of my eyebrows off camera with my Anastasia Brow Wiz. And then I will come back on camera when I'm ready to put my powder on and we will use this brush right here. So I will be right back. Alright, so I'm finished with the Anastasia Brow Wiz. So now I'm going to go back to my Smashbox Shapematters palette. And lately I've been kind of using a combo of both of these brow powders right here. I think I'm majorly going to be using the lighter kind of taupey one today because I want my brows to be very soft and not too dark. So I'm kind of nervous to see how this brush performs because it's kind of like a little bit on the thicker side when it comes to an angled brow brush. Usually I like to go with something a little bit thinner. So I'm going to be very delicate with it and only apply a very small amount because I don't want it to get too crazy. Sorry, I got to get all up in my mirror so I can see. So far this eyebrow brush is working. I don't feel like the size is too big anymore. I feel like it's actually a really good size. It's not like too big or too small. I just can't believe how affordable these brushes are. Because thinking about it, like if you get a pack of 6 for $12, If you were to buy them individually, what would they be, like $2? So that's a really good price, in my opinion, for these brushes. I mean, $2 per brush pretty much. That's pretty much like dollar store price. Like, that's even better than Morphe, and I do feel like these brushes are honestly very comparable to the Morphe quality. Wow, I just realized I almost forgot to add highlighter to my face. That would have been awful if I didn't highlight. So the only annoying thing is that that brush set did not come with a good highlighter brush. So I'm gonna go back to my Morphe. I just recently got this one because I was using the F510 or like, no wait, Morphe M510, whatever it's called. But I recently got the Morphe R36. It's like the exact same brush as the M510, but this is a part of their Rose Gold collection. I wanted to show you guys on camera because I recently picked up the Lou Manizer from the Balm. I've never used anything from this brand before, and they had it on Haute Look, so I was pretty stoked to be able to get this for 50% off. I know that both of these products, well, I mean the highlighter and the brush, have nothing to do with this video, but I just wanted to add highlighter on real quick before I finish off my eyes. Ooh, this highlight is so good. So far, this is pretty. Of course, I've heard nothing but good things about this highlighter from the Balm, but I've never used it on my own face. I really am enjoying the fact that it doesn't look glittery or like chunky. It looks very like soft and smooth on the skin. Ooh. I know my makeup is like super soft glam and like natural right now, but I'm loving the way that my complexion looks. I feel like I'm having a really good complexion and a really good brow day. Okay, this Lou Manizer is so bomb. Like, I don't know why it took me so long to buy anything from this brand, but I like literally don't own anything from this brand. Recently, as I said, it was on Haute Look, so I got this Lou Manizer, I got Cindy Lou Manizer, then I got the Bahama Mama bronzer, so I definitely cannot wait to try those in the future as well. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to do anything crazy to my eyes. I'm just going to add probably just that bronzer and maybe a little bit of blush in my crease. So I'm going to use the last brush in the set. I cannot believe we're almost at the end of this video. I feel like these brushes like really threw me for a loop because I was expecting them to be awful and for this to be kind of like a weird, kind of like bad first impressions, but I am honestly obsessed. I have like still nothing bad to say at all about these brushes. I mean, the fact that you get 6 for $12, pretty much like $2 per brush, I feel like that's a really killer deal. So I'm taking the last clean brush in this set. This is a really good like bullet size packer brush. I don't know if I'm going to be using it that much. I think I'm just going to add a little bit of like the kind of like bronzer shade to my crease with this. And then I may have to grab a different brush later to kind of like blend it out. Before I add any color to my crease, I'm going to use a flat top eyeshadow brush and add this lighter kind of like highlight shade from the palette just to kind of give my eyelids a really good even canvas. I already put primer on previously, but I'm just kind of like using this color to brighten my lid as well as kind of just give it something to kind of blend onto. The thing I like about this Smashbox palette that I have in my hands right here is that I can almost like do my whole entire face with this palette except for like my foundation and concealer obviously. So I'm going to dip this brush into this kind of like more warmer kind of like bronzer color. And then I'm going to start to apply that in the outer corner of my crease and then lightly kind of blend it with this brush. But to be honest with you guys, I think I am going to grab a more fluffier crease brush to blend it out because I don't feel like this brush is going to be that great for blending, but I still want to be able to use it so I can let you guys know what I think. But I'm pretty sure you guys can kind of get a little bit of an idea of how I'm feeling about these brushes so far. I don't feel like it's going to be a shocker that I'm going to like this brush. I feel like this brush is not my favorite out of this set. It's very condensed, so of course it's not going to be good for blending, but when it comes to like adding in that outer corner depth, or if you're just going to kind of like do a little bit of bottom lash line color like this, I feel like this will be good. But I do really wish that this brush set would come with a couple more eye brushes because I really like to use a really good fluffy crease brush to blend everything with. I of course already have a million brushes, but if you were to buy this set kind of like being a beginner or getting it for somebody as a gift, I feel like that would be nice for it to come with a good crease brush. But I will of course get over it because as you guys see behind me, I have enough brushes for like the next 25 years. So don't get me wrong, I do like that brush, but out of the set, it is not my favorite. I feel like I just didn't fall in love with it because I'm not really doing that much eye makeup today, so I didn't really get to like use it in its full capacity. So this is usually my eye look on days that I'm either running late or if I want to look a little bit more soft glam. So to finish off this eye look and to keep my makeup looking harmonious, I'm going to go in and add a little bit of the Lou Manizer that I use on my cheeks, but I'm going to put it on my lid this time. I'm going to be applying it with my finger. I feel like it's the easiest way to get shimmer onto your lid. I feel like it creates less fallout. It just makes it look a lot more like shimmery and glittery. I like how it gives this soft, like subtle sheen, but it doesn't look like super glittery or super sheer. It's just like perfect. Alrighty you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and finish off my mascara and my lips off camera, and then I'll be right back to share with you guys the final look that I created today, and then I will also share with you guys my final thoughts and opinions on these brushes. Alright you guys, so my makeup is finally complete. I'm sure you guys are not going to be surprised at all, but I am obsessed with these brushes. I highly recommend them, and I do think they're worth every penny. I honestly feel like even if I had to spend $30 on them, I would still pay full price because even for $30, I feel like they still are a very good deal for what you are getting. Now, I will make sure to leave a full list of all the products below that I used on my face today, but I went ahead and used the Roller Lash Mascara and then the Stark Naked Lip Liner from Urban Decay. But just in case if I forgot to mention something, I will link everything below in the description box. I just can't get over how good these brushes are, you guys. $12 for these 6 brushes is a really good deal. I would highly recommend that you buy these. Even if you don't even want them, you can buy them for a gift for somebody else or just add them to your collection or put them on display because these are the cutest handles in the world. I do want to continue to use these in the future to see if my thoughts or opinions change, so I'm going to make sure to try to use them in a couple more videos just so you guys can see if anything happens after I wash them or if I use them more than once, if they kind of like shed or if the quality kind of breaks down over time. And I do have to say myself, I do feel like I look pretty flawless and snatched right now. I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, but I think these brushes are amazing for the price. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this first impressions review. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any requests on what you guys want me to film with next. I'm always down to try new products, whether it is makeup or like brushes or tools. I always like to film first impressions. And if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up down below. It means so much to me. And also make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel so you can see right away when I post new videos. But yeah, I'm off to work now. I really cannot thank you guys enough for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video.